There is a specific reason quiet people often end up being the ones others listen to most. And it has nothing to do with how much they say. Welcome to the Always On Mute podcast, where we know not everyone was born with a mic in their hand or a megaphone in their mouth, but we still have something to say because quiet is still a voice. Welcome to the Always On Mute podcast. I'm Antonia, and this is where quiet minds speak with intention. On today's episode, I want to talk about something that gets misread constantly, and I mean constantly. When an introvert goes quiet in a conversation, they don't jump in, they don't volunteer an opinion, they don't fill the silence. People start drawing conclusions. They're shy, they're bored, they're uncomfortable. They don't have anything to contribute. Most of the time, they are wrong. So let's talk about what is actually happening. Because if you have ever been misread this way, or you've misread someone else, this matters. First thing, introverts process differently, not slowly, differently. When an extrovert hears something, they often process out loud. They think by talking. The conversation is the thinking. That is why they jump in quickly and basically talk over each other. When an introvert hears something, the processing happens internally first. They're turning it over, looking at it from multiple angles, deciding what they actually think before they say it. It's not that they don't have a response. They are just not giving you one until they're sure it's the right one. Picture a meeting room. 10 people, one problem. 7 people start talking immediately, agreeing, disagreeing, repeating each other. And two or three people are quiet, not checked out, processing. By the time they speak, they've filtered everything. They have found the gaps. They have formed a more complete answer. That is not a weakness. That's an asset. And I have seen this happen over and over. Quiet people get overlooked. Then the team spends weeks solving something that person already understood on day one. They just were not given the space to say it. And I have actually talked about a piece of this in another episode, the power of the observation gap. I'm going to link it somewhere here. If this one resonates with you, check that one out also. Now here's the second thing. And this one gets misunderstood a lot. People confuse choosing not to speak with having nothing to say. Those are not the same thing. There is something I think about often, the cost of words. Every time you speak, you're spending something. Attention, credibility, energy. Most people spend without thinking. Introverts budget. Before they speak, they're asking, does this need to be said? Does it add value? Is this the right moment? And if the answer is no, they stay quiet, not disengaged, intentional. Let me give you a simple example. Family dinner. Tension rises, people pick sides, voices get louder, and one person says nothing. Later, when things settle down, that person speaks quietly to the one who needed it most and says exactly what needs to be said. Not what wins the moment, what actually helps. That's not avoidance. That is timing. We have been so conditioned to see silence as emptiness. Like, if you're not talking, nothing is happening. But silence is where observation lives, and introverts are constantly observing. They are reading the room. Who's uncomfortable? Who keeps interrupting? Who sounds confident versus who actually is? That information matters, and quiet people are collecting it in real time. There's a reason certain roles attract introverts. Therapists, researchers, strategists, writers, editors. Not because they can't speak, but because those spaces reward depth over speed. And introverts bring that naturally. Now let me say this clearly. Sometimes an introvert is quiet because they've already decided the conversation isn't worth engaging with. That's okay. Not every room deserves your insight. Not every debate needs your voice. Not every person asking is actually listening. That's not antisocial. That's self-respect. And I had to learn that the hard way, trying to force myself to speak up more, trying to show up more, trying to engage more in conversations I already knew weren't going anywhere. Every time I left drained and nothing changed. That instinct to stay quiet, it wasn't weakness, it was protection. If you have a quiet person in your life, a partner, a colleague, a friend, a child, and their silence frustrates you, please pause before you interpret it. Don't assume. Ask and give them space to answer, not in the noise after. You might be surprised how much was there the whole time. And if you're the quiet one and you've ever wondered if something was wrong with the way that you communicate, there isn't. Your silence isn't a gap. It's where your thinking lives, where your observation lives, where your discernment lives. And when you speak from that place, it carries something reactive words never will. Weight, intention, depth. In a world that rewards speed, choosing to be deliberate is a form of power. So the next time someone questions your silence, remember this. You're not behind. You're not checked out. You're not struggling to keep up. You're preparing. And there's a difference. Remember, being quiet doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means that you choose your words with intention. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. I'm hoping that these short messages are helping you. Please also remember to stay muted and stay mighty. I will see you in the next one.